Do you remember the first time when you tried to get up early in the morning? If you're not used to it, it can be really tough. You may have set multiple alarms, but still struggled. Or sometimes you just wake at the 11th hour and get ready in an extreme hurry and skip your breakfast. When you are doing something like this every day, it becomes a part of you. Without intuition, our body automatically starts to function because that task gets protected inside our unconscious. This is how we develop habits, both good or bad. Your life today is essentially the sum of your habits. Today, I'm going to show you how to identify bad habits. What is going on, guys? Good to see you. If you've been following me on Instagram, you would know that I am currently in Dubai, trying to make a video, an episode today, where you can kind of see a little bit of the background to make it a little bit prettier. If you'd like to understand why I'm in Dubai, then go over to @RosaMindset on Instagram and you should be able to get or pick up some kind of story from there. But anyway, let's get on with today's episode. If you're new to the channel and like personal development, you can hit the subscribe button, and if at any point you like what you see, give it a little like. Before working on your bad habits, it is important to know the phenomenon behind being habitual. James Clear, in his New York Times best-selling book Atomic Habits, clarified the science behind why we do what we do. According to him, the method of building a habit can be divided into 4 fundamental steps in a loop. So they are cue, craving, response, and reward. Our brains run through this loop every time to develop a habit. So let's talk about cue. First, there is the cue, and it is a trigger to initiate a behavior. As cue is a trigger, it orders our brain to initiate a habit loop. It can be understood as a chunk of information that predicts a reward. Our minds analyze our internal and outer surroundings in the search of rewards continuously. It is the building block of building new habits. And then you've got cravings. So cue then leads to cravings. It is a desire which motivates you to develop a habit. Without craving, we have no reason to act further, in spite that our cue is present. The thoughts, feelings, and emotions of the observer are what transforms a cue into craving. For example, if you have a bad habit of eating chocolate after your work hours, it is not because you are craving chocolate, but because you are motivated to relieve stress, which is your craving to feel better. If you are not stressed, in spite that your chocolate bar, cue, is in front of you, you will not eat it because you are not craving it. Then you've got response. The response is the third step of the habit loop. It is the actual action that we perform to obtain the reward. All the actions, no matter whether right or wrong, are involved in the response section of the habit loop. It depends on our cravings and strengths. All the cravings cannot be satisfied with your limited capability. Finally, the response delivers a reward. Now, a reward is something due to which we go through the whole habit loop, i.e. the cue is about noticing the reward. The craving is about wanting reward. The response is about obtaining the reward. And we chase the rewards because it provides benefits on their own and also satisfies your desires. As a reward detector, our sensory nervous system continuously monitors actions which satisfy our desires and deliver pleasure. Here, the feedback loop closes and completes the habit cycle. If a behavior is insufficient in any of the 4 stages, it will not become a habit. Eliminate the cue and your habit will never start. Reduce the craving and you won't experience enough motivation to act. Make the behavior difficult and you won't be able to do it. And if the reward fails to satisfy your desire, then you will have no reason to do it again in the future. Without the first 3 steps, a behavior will not occur, and without all 4, a behavior will not be repeated. On the other hand, each time when you repeat this behavioral pattern, it becomes ingrained in your brain until it becomes automatic to unfold in whatever manner. So how can we firstly start identifying good bad habits? Because really that's what you want to do before you start working on forming better habits, is first identify what it is that you feel is a bad habit and that you'd like to move forward with. Keep watching until the end, because this is going to form the first part of identifying the habit. The second episode coming after this one will be on strategies to form better habits. So it is important to identify and classify your habits as good or bad. This knowledge will help you to then do away with your bad habits and polish your keystone habits. So the first thing is you need to get ready to accept. The first step towards identifying is to prepare yourself to accept. Bad habits are generally addicting and hard to admit. Be open-minded because honest feedback usually hurts. You can start working on them once you are prepared to accept them. A lot of people just don't accept. Next one is self-awareness. Who can know you better than you? So ask yourself, what are your bad habits? Make a list. Temporary pleasure. Bad habits are related to temporary pleasure most of the time. Bad habits are the ones where you are succumbing to peer pressure and stress. For this temporary satisfaction, they drain the energy out of you and you feel low. Simple ones like asking directly. If you are still confused and can't distinguish between keystone habits and bad habits, then ask from a close friend or a family member. Ask them which of your habits pisses them off and what they think about it. One of the biggest points is stress. Most of the time, bad habits are simply just a way of dealing with negative emotions like stress and anxiety. For example, some people have the habit of chewing their nails, often not. This is triggered to repeat when they are more stressed. Or maybe their habit of biting nails began when they were stressed. Occasionally, stress that is on the surface is actually caused by deeper and tough to think issues. So without blaming the stress, look beneath it. The other one is boredom. As it is said, an empty mind is a devil's workshop. So boredom could be another reason for bad habits. For example, a lot of people have developed a bad habit of maybe overeating over this period of lockdown, but it does not have to be that way. Teach yourself new and healthy ways to deal with boredom, then can substitute in place of the overeating. So it's definitely something that can happen. I know it can. Okay, and the final point I've got here for today is bad company. We generally cannot resist some bad habits which are continuously being practiced in our surroundings. For example, if you were out with your boys and they were going gambling every day, being a social animal, you might end up giving it a go and getting hooked. If you're trying to quit smoking, but everyone around you is smoking, it can make that process a lot harder. Watch out for the next episode where I'm going to share strategies to form good habits. A lot of people I know like to do their New Year's resolutions. Like if you've seen my previous video, you'll know that I don't really do New Year's resolutions per se, but if you're looking to form good habits, then watch the next episode. So that's it for today, everyone. If you've enjoyed the content and haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to be notified of when new episodes are released, then click the little notification bell. This has been Richard Rozza. Peace out.